god, that aircraft crashed due to uncertain reason. So guys, what do you understand from that? Maintaining aircraft is not an easy thing to do. We may say the pilot can control an aircraft. Yes, it's right. But only if it is good to fly. So, can we stop aircraft from accident? The answer is no, we cannot. Then, how to stop this accident? As we all know, prevention is better than cure. So, to prevent the aircraft from failure, we have to do maintenance on aircraft. Yes, there are certain types of maintenance which we have to do on aircraft to fly safe. So, let's get started. I am Hemlata Chauhan and
Hi, I am Sarthak Nano from Anna Saheb Dange College of Engineering and Technology Ashta. In this video, we will see my project named Prognosticating the State of Turbofan Engine using the technique machine learning under the application of AI and ML in the field of aerospace industry under the valuable guidance of Professor Mr. Kiran Babu sir. As we know, artificial intelligence is playing the major role in any industry and aerospace industry is one of them. So, it provides the information that might be difficult to get from conventional methods. Some of areas in which the artificial intelligence is playing a major role in aerospace industry are optimized flight performance, predictive maintenance, and generalized design. In our project, we will use machine learning for predictive maintenance. These are some points we will cover in this video. Let's get started.
To prevent aircraft from failure, we have to do maintenance. There are certain types of maintenance like reactive maintenance, which is also known as breakdown maintenance, which means fix it when it breaks. Defer maintenance and emergency maintenance are the types of reactive maintenance. Then, preventive and predictive maintenance used before the fault occurs. The preventive maintenance is to maintain the equipment at regular interval of time so that it doesn't break. Time-based, usage-based and condition-based. These are the three types of preventive maintenance. It falls between reactive and predictive maintenance. And the third one is predictive maintenance. It predicts exactly when it will break and maintain it accordingly. Predictive maintenance is a technique that uses condition monitoring tools and techniques to track the performance of equipment during normal operation to detect possible defects and fix them before they result in failure. Let's see how it works. Predictive maintenance uses condition monitoring equipment to evaluate an asset's performance in real time. A key element in this process is the IoT, that is Internet of Things. IoT allows for different assets and systems to connect, work together, share and analyze and action data. Condition-based maintenance, that is CBM, is a maintenance strategy that monitors the actual condition of an asset to decide what maintenance needs to be done, right? Now, you know what is predictive maintenance and how it works. Let's see how it is useful for aerospace industry. What if an aircraft part will tell you when it needs to be repaired or replaced? You must be saying what a foolish thing I am talking about. But yes, now it is possible with predictive maintenance. Let's see how. Today, due to cloud-based machinery development in its sector, industrial machines equipped with lot of sensors can see, hear, feel and lot more than that before and deliver enormous amount of data to be analyzed. A generation ago, an aviation engineer would have been on the cutting edge of technology, right? Using small sets of data gathered after each flight to enhance the performance of equipment in service. This was the limitation of technology at that time and the inherent limitation in learning today. Today, digital connectivity is removing that barrier. To unlock the value in predictive maintenance and achieve business outcomes that matter, you will need to bring together your machines, data, insight and people. Preventive maintenance, a common industry practice, is a maintenance that is regularly performed on a piece of equipment while it is still working so that it does not break unexpectedly and cause unplanned downtime. In aviation, this process is based on stringent requirements to repair or replace parts and systems before they fail to assure an aircraft's safe continued operation. It relies on engineering data and operational experience to determine the appropriate point in time to make the repairs, such as replacing a part after 5,000 flight hours, based on studies that indicate reliability cannot be assured after that point. While preventive maintenance in aviation is largely responsible for the outstanding safety and reliability of today's aircraft fleet, its effectiveness is limited by the backward looking nature of the analysis. It is based on history and statistics. It does not take into account the everyday operating conditions for a specific asset, despite the fact that each engine, aircraft, and system is subject to its own set of conditions and experience. A preventive maintenance schedule is simply based on averages. Due to the variability of actual experience, some good parts are replaced too soon, while others may fail before the prescribed replacement schedule. In contrast, predictive maintenance uses advanced analytics based on the asset's actual operating conditions. Monitoring for future failure allows maintenance to be planned before the failure occurs. Ideally, predictive maintenance allows the maintenance frequency to be as low as possible to prevent unplanned reactive maintenance without incurring costs associated with doing too much preventive maintenance. It can also allow for a more optimized operation of a component. Predictive maintenance eliminates the need to shut down for service on a periodic basis, enabling maintenance teams to monitor things like vibration, heat, and fuel consumption to understand what's going on deep inside complex machinery. In fact, Fortune magazine reports that PTC believes predictive maintenance will be one of the first killer applications of the industrial internet. From a maintenance point of view, the operational information coming from the sensor on a jet engine or aircraft will be fed into an trained ML model. Over time, you will be able to build sophisticated models and analytics that will be predict when a machine is likely to fail. In aviation, data volumes are growing exponentially. An Airbus A350 generates and archives 50 times more data than an Airbus A320, from 12,000 parameters and 8.3 terabyte to over 670,000 parameters and 450 terabyte. Airline, OEM, and MRO organizations currently struggle to store, manage, use, and understand this flood of information. Interestingly, the origin of predictive maintenance can be traced to the aircraft maintenance. Back in 1953, a British scientist named C.H. Weddington commented that inspection tends to increase breakdowns after he observed the maintenance activities of the Royal Air Force Coastal Command 502 Squadron. Instead, he recommended a process that was more in tune with the actual condition of the equipment. Since then, predictive maintenance has evolved and is still used by aviation companies to reduce the costly effects of maintenance-related flight delays and cancellations. Predictive maintenance is also used in the industry to help airlines improve aircraft health and prevent devastating air accidents. It is based on history and statistics. It does not take into account the everyday operating conditions for a specific asset. Despite the fact that each engine, aircraft, and system is subject to its own set of conditions and experience, a preventive maintenance schedule is simply based on averages. Due to the variability of actual experience, some good parts are replaced too soon, while others may fail before the prescribed replacement schedule. Before the predictive maintenance solution is developed, the following factors should be addressed. Number 1. Error history. When training a model, the algorithm should be fitted data on normal operational patterns as well as on failure patterns. Number 2. Maintenance repair history. The maintenance history contains information on what repairs were made, what parts were replaced, etc. The presence of this information in the data set is very critical. If it is absent, you will obtain misleading model results. Number 3. Machine operating conditions. Streaming data of the equipment in operation that is sensor-based is important as a source of valuable dataset samples. Number 4. Equipment metadata. Static feature data implies the technical information of the equipment, such as the date on which the equipment was made, the model, the start date of the service, and the location of the system. So after considering all these factors, let's see what is PDM suitable for. Applications that are suitable for predictive maintenance include those that have critical operational function, have failure modes that can be cost-effectively predicted with regular monitoring. Unsuitable applications for predictive maintenance include those that do not serve a critical function, do not have a failure mode that can be cost-effectively predicted.
Now we have the basic idea, so let's see how ML used for the PDM. Think about all the machines you use during a year, all of them from the toaster every morning to an airplane every summer holiday. Now imagine that from now on, one of them would fail every day. What impact would that have? The truth is that we are surrounded by the machines that makes our life easier, but we also get more and more dependent on them. Therefore, the quality of the machine is not only based on how useful and efficient it is, but also how reliable it is. And together, the reliability comes the maintenance. The success of predictive maintenance models depends on the three main components: having the right data available, framing the problems appropriately, and evaluating the predictions properly. Let's see two of them. The data collection. The lifespan of machines is usually in order of years, which means that the data has to be collected for the expanded period of time. In order to observe the system throughout, it is the degradation process. We will see more about data collection and data preprocessing in our upcoming videos. Now let's see the basic of problem framing. When we thinking about to frame the problem for the predictive maintenance model, it is important to keep a couple of questions in mind. What kind of output should that model give? Is enough historical data available or just static data? Is the every recorded event labeled? When labels events are available, what is the proportion of the number of events of each type of failure and events of well functionally? How long in advance should the model be able to indicate the failure will occur? What are the performance targets that model should be optimized for? With all this information at hand, we can now decide which modeling strategy fits the best to the available data and the desired output. There are multiple modeling strategies for the predictive maintenance, and we will describe the two of them. Strategy 1 is the regression models to predict the remaining useful lifetime, that is RUL. The output we will get is the how many cycles or days are left before the system fails. The data characteristics, the static and the historical data are available, and every event is labeled. Several events of each type of the failure are present in that data set. The basic assumptions and requirements are as follows. Based on the static characteristics of the system and how it behaves. Now, the remaining useful lifetime can be predicted. Then just one type of path to failure is being modeled. Then the label data is available and the measurement were taken at the different moments during the system lifetime. Strategy 2 is a classification models to predict the failure within a given time window. Creating a model which can predict the lifetimes very accurate can be very challenging. In practice, however, one usually does not need to predict the lifetime very accurate far in the future. Often the maintenance team only needs to know will machine will fail or not. This results in the next strategy. That is the question, will the machine will fail in the next n cycles or days? The data characteristics are the same as the strategy 1. The basic assumptions can be modified as since we are defining the failure in the time window instead of the exact time, the requirement of the smoothness of the degradation process is relaxed. The classification models can deal with the multiple type of failure as long as they are framed as the multi-class problem. That is, if you give a class equals to 0, the corresponding to the no failure in next n days. If class equals to 1 for the failure type 1 in the next n days, and class equals to 2 for the failure type 2 in the next n days, and so forth. The label data is available and there are enough cases for each type of failure to train and evaluate the model. In general, what are the regression and classification models are doing the modeling and the relationship between the features and the degradation path of the system. These are two more approaches, that is the flagging anomalous behavior and the serial models for the prediction of the failure probability over the time. For this project, we are using the Python programming environment to construct model and test the results. The datasets were read from the files and algorithms were applied in using the Python programming language. After considering all the factors, we have designed our problem statement as to predict the state of an engine by using the machine learning. For this, we have considered the one constant value, that is R, which is equals to time to failure minus current age whole term divided by the time to failure. But as we know, the RUL is nothing but time to failure minus the current age. For that, the time to failure we are getting from the dataset, which will be different for each dataset. Then we will see the R, which we have taken the first state of the turbofan engine. That is, for the healthy state, we have taken the R values between the 0.85 to 1. For caution, it's between 0.7 to 0.85. For repair, it's between 0.5 to 0.7. And for fill, the R value is between 0.0 to 0.5. That is, each range of R value will predict the state of turbofan engine. To construct this problem statement, we have studied the two research papers. In first research paper, they have applied a different ML algorithms to calculate the error values. And in second research paper, they have used the LSTM neural network for predicting the RUL values. Also, in that research paper, they have defined the term R that we have used. These are the results from each research paper. In first research paper, they have got the highest accuracy for random forest and the minimum errors, that is 29.73. Also, in second research paper, we can see that as the number of epochs are increasing, the accuracy has been increased and the loss of the network has been decreased. Now let's see workflow of our project. We are following the two approaches, that is the regression approach and classification approach. We will give our data set to the 5 regression and 5 classification ML algorithms. Then, after evaluating model, we will choose the best regression model to predict the RUL value, and by using this value, we will evaluate the R value, and using this R value, we will predict the state of turbofan engine. While in classification approach, we will predict the state of engine is going to fail or not. These are the few algorithms we are going to use for this project. These are our project outcomes. These are our project objectives. To complete any machine learning project, we need to have the very good programming skills. For our project, we are using the Python. So you should know the basics of Python perfectly, and then you should have some knowledge of the most common Python libraries to complete any ML project. Let's see why we have chosen this Python. There are other languages like R, Java, JavaScript, but why we have chosen the Python? Because it's a very easy to learn, then scalability, then wide choice of libraries, then active Python community, and the myriad options for the data visualization. For data handling and visualization, we need have libraries like Pandas. It is used for data analysis with the support of fast, flexible, and expressive data structure designed to work on both the relational or the label data. Then NumPy. NumPy is a powerful to process a large multidimensional array and matrices. Matplotlib. Matplotlib is a data visualization library that is used for 2D plotting and to produce the publication quality images, plots, and the figures in a variety of formats. And also for the machine learning, we have the libraries like the scikit-learn. Scikit-learn has a wide range of supervised and unsupervised learning algorithms that works on the consistent interface in Python. TensorFlow is the ML framework for end ML problems and excellent functionality for the deep learning. Keras, it is the high-level API built on TensorFlow. These are few libraries we are going to use in this project. Let's see and one example. In this, we have the 6 input variables that are yum, r0, r1, cp, f, and b. and one output variable, that is the CV, which is the coefficient of volumetric drag. We have described our data using the describe function. Then, by using the correlation coefficient, we got the highest correlation feature as R1, which is the tail radius. We can graphically see this relation. Then we have splitted the data and visualized the model. You can see the plot between the error and the iteration. These are the predicted values of coefficient of volumetric drag. This is our roadmap.
These are few concepts about predictive analytics and ML. Let's see outcomes derived by PDM and its future trends. Asset performance management, maintenance optimization, operations optimization, the power of one person, analytics driven MRO, reduced downtime. These are some outcomes which achieve through PDM, and these are benefits of PDM in certain areas. In the next few years, it is expected that the usage of predictive technology will increase, as there is hardly any industry that cannot benefit from it, but which industries will find PDM of particular interest. These will be the industry with the following traits: high capital and operational expenditure, sensitive and very expensive equipment, high risk to human safety. You may call it as some disadvantage of PDM. On top of this list are the mining industry, oil and gas, manufacturing, construction and aviation. Businesses operating in this sector have a very high risk of exposure, which predictive maintenance can help in minimizing. It's not finished at predictive maintenance. There are another strategy called prescriptive maintenance, which means let the machine help you to decide how to avoid predictive failure. Prescriptive maintenance looks to build upon predictive maintenance, as PDM improved upon CBM and preventive maintenance. As you can see, Dan Miklovic from LNS Research explained in his post, you can see that he is pointing towards prescriptive maintenance. As the industry becomes more comfortable with intelligently monitoring and analyzing equipment in order to determine the need for repair or replacement, there is an opportunity to move away from traditional preventive maintenance and shift to predictive maintenance. With predictive maintenance, significant reductions in unplanned downtime can save millions, keep planes flying and keep customers happy. These are top 20 companies enabling PDM. IBM is at the top. This is survey from 2019 in which we can see companies which are using PDM. The companies which are using PDM technologies used for running PDM and its benefit. This is our timeline. And these are the few references we have referred. Thank you.